Hello, everybody. This is the live broadcast, and which will also be recorded for the purposes of explaining to folks how to get started with Virtual TAS. This is probably our most frequently asked question on our inquiries on Facebook, on our website, people calling in, asking questions. All curious how to get started with our product. So we'll be able to, you'll be able to comment in the comment section and ask questions, and I'll be able to answer those for you either during your comments or after the basic overview session. So let's get started. If you have any problem hearing me or seeing the video, please comment in the comment section, and we'll be happy to adjust that. So it's kind of hard to explain how to get started without first going over kind of giving you a basic overview of how the system works. So I'd like to start with that first, basic overview. So the big thing to remember about our service is there's no servers or real centralized equipment required to use our services. There is technically some equipment required, but that's all supplied by us, and it's really just the phones. There's no software to install. All of that is done. As long as you have the Google Chrome web browser, which is similar to Internet Explorer or Firefox that you might already use. A lot of people already use the Google Chrome web browser. The interface or the portion of the system that the operator uses on the screen on the computer can be used by on pretty much any computer. They just open up Google Chrome and log into the web page address that we supply you for the operator panel. Same goes for the managers or the owners of the service. They log into a web page address which is called our manager dashboard, and that manager dashboard allows the operators it's not designed for the operators to access unless you have a head operator that you want to put in charge of that. But the manager dashboard's purpose is to provide access to call reports, the ability for the managers or the owners to create and set up new accounts for your customers, edit those accounts, and like I said, basically reporting and things like that. The operator panel, just a web page like we said, it's just a different web address that the operators use. So no software on the computer to install. You can use this in the Google Chrome browser on Mac computers, Windows computers, anything that's fairly modern in the last I don't know, 5 to 7 years, I suppose. They don't need to be brand new computers or super powerful, as it's just running the Google Chrome web browser. We have a number of customers that use Google Chromebooks, if you're familiar with those. So that's also something you can use if you don't have computers you want to use for this. Google Chromebooks can be purchased at Walmart, Best Buy. They can be purchased on Amazon.com on the web, starting at anywhere from around $129 if you can find them on sale on up. Typically, you can get a really nice Chromebook for under $200. I know that Walmart sells an Acer Chromebook 15-inch with a 15-inch screen, keyboard, every touchpad, kind of everything you need to get started for about $179. Now, if you've already got a computer, or each of your operators already have computers on their desk, laptops, desktops, those will typically work just fine unless they're super, super old, and you can sometimes have some issues. But again, no special computers to buy or anything like that. What you have is probably good enough. In terms of like servers and stuff like that, as I said, it's all cloud-based, so there's nothing to install in your office centrally. And the operators can work from anywhere. All they really need is a computer, a good solid high-speed internet connection. We recommend a wired internet connection versus a wireless, so you don't want to try to run our services over a wireless hotspot, say from AT&T or Verizon or something like that. So to give you an idea of what the phones look like, we've got two versions of the phones. We've got the cordless phones that look basically that's the model of cordless phone that we use. That is the base unit I'm sorry, that is the handset, the part that, you pick up and you hold to your ear and talk on the phone. There is a headset that we supply with these. So the headset is wired. This is not the exact headset we use these days. We've gone to a slightly different model, but it looks something like this. It's got a wire, and you plug that wire into the top of the phone right here. When you receive these phones, they have a little rubber plug in the hole here, so it's not obvious. You have to pull that little rubber plug out, and then you pop that in there. And this is actually the same type of connector. If you have an iPhone or a pair of Apple earbuds, it's basically the same connector that connects into these phones. So, if you happen to lose your headset or break your headset and you're waiting for us to ship you another one, then you can plug in your regular old Apple earbuds with these and they work just fine. They also have a speakerphone function. You just press the speakerphone there, and you can hear the dial tone there. But that speakerphone works really well. The quality is really good on these cordless phones. The battery life is really great. There's a base unit. I don't know if I can get this to stretch. I'll unplug it here. This is not the base unit, but it's the charging station. So this goes in here like this, and that, there's a little power plug that plugs in there. This part of it doesn't need to be hooked up to your router or the internet or your network or anything. This is just the charging base that keeps the battery charged. The part that has to hook up to the internet looks like this. So this piece can be anywhere, within reason. Now, I'm not going to say if you have an 8,000 square foot house, it may not reach, but typically in your average size home, these units will communicate back with the base, right? So this is what the base looks like. It'll communicate back with the base, in your average size home, anywhere in the house, even upstairs, downstairs tends to work pretty well and reach without any issues. We haven't heard of any issues. I know that I use one of these at my residence, at my house, and I can go 4 or 5 houses down to the end of the street in one direction, and I can go all the way to the subdivision pool in the other direction before I start losing signal or anything. So range is good, battery is good, and then the base unit, which is what, this is the piece you need to plug the power in, obviously, and then you get a standard computer type network cable that looks like this, and this plugs into the back right here. We can get a good shot of that. This plugs into the back right here, like that, right in there. Oh, I can't do this backwards very well, but you plug that into the back, and then the other end of this cord is going to plug into your router. Okay, so if you've got here's an example of a router, an internet router we have here. Yours probably looks different, but they usually have a yellow port, and that's the port that goes to the modem, or that's the part that hooks up to your actual internet connection with your provider. But then you'll have these other ports that are usually black. They're usually colored black. So you just plug this cable into one of those 3 ports, and typically you're good to go. The phones are these phones are set up to auto configure, but we do schedule an appointment with you to make sure that when you plug them in, they work fine, that they auto configure correctly, and we do some tests. We make sure you know where and how to plug the cables in and all that stuff. The cordless phones, when you get them, they have basically, they look like standard AAA batteries. I'm not sure if you can see that too well with the lighting, but you just pop those in, pretty simple. Do not put regular AAA batteries in there. These are special batteries. But that's kind of how the cordless phones look. If you opt to go with the desktop phones, these look like your standard, style business phone, nice looking phone. They have a color LCD screen, and then you just take the network cable and you pop it in the back there into one of these holes, and then you're going to plug, one of these holes right here, and they're actually marked. One is marked PC and one is marked LAN. You want to plug your internet from your internet router into the one that says LAN on the back, and then you've got a power cord here. So the obvious difference between these two is, well, this one sits on the desk. You've got a regular receiver here you can pick up. You have a speakerphone just like the cordless phone, and then you've got a slightly different type of headset that looks, something like this and plugs into the bottom of the phone. So that one's wired as well. Now the big deal is you can't really leave your desk with this setup, with the corded setup. This does run $100 cheaper per phone if you decide you want to go with this option. And some services like these, because they've told us that, hey, it's not about the cost, it's that we really don't want our operators, walking around the office or going outside with the phones. The cordless phones are a little easier to drop, but boy, if you've got home operators, I'll tell you that the cordless phones are pretty great. So, but basically that's it in terms of an overview. When a call comes in to one of the phones, it's going to ring, and on your screen you're going to see the customer screen pop up, depending on which customer the call is for. So that customer screen will pop up, and it'll tell you how to answer the call. So it'll have the answer phrase in there. So thanks for calling Joe's Plumbing. How may I help you? And then it's got a screen. Obviously, it's got a section where you can take a message. It's got a section with special instructions on how your customer may want to handle those their calls in some special way with some special rules and whatnot, depending on who the call's for and so forth. And then, of course, down the right-hand side, you've got a list of email addresses and text messages and so forth that you can check off, which will determine where the message is delivered to once you take the message in the box and hit the submit button. So that's kind of a basic overview of how our system works. Of course, there's a lot more details to it, but that's what our sales reps for. That's what our contact form is for. You can contact us on Facebook, email, call us. Our number is 210-245. Oh goodness. Wow, forgot our main number. But it's on our website. Go to www.virtualtas.com. and click on the contact section. You can fill the form out there. Often you can pull up a live chat, and if someone's available, and chat with them there, or give us a ring or send us an email, however we can help. Now that overview is kind of behind us, how do you actually get started with Virtual TAS? So first you contact us using any of the methods we mentioned. Let us know you're interested. And we typically like to schedule an initial call where we can have a conversation with you, make sure we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, answer all your questions, go over everything, and then at the end of that call you'd like to move forward and you think you'd like to get set up with our service, then what we do is we set up a demo and sign-up call. And so what that means is before we're actually willing to take your money and sign you up, we do require that you go through a demo, and that normally takes 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many questions you might have. That demo is a live screen share with one of our sales reps, and they'll take you through, basically on your screen, you'll be able to see the sales rep screen, and we'll take you through, basically making some test calls, having the screens pop up, show you how all the software, kind of go over everything with a fine-tooth comb. How do you create a new account when you get a new customer, and so forth. At the end of that call, we'll basically, at that point we take your payment information and all your sign-up information, and that kind of gets the ball rolling. So the key here is again, we won't just sign you up. We want to make sure at the point when you pay your setup fee and decide to move forward with us that you completely understand what you're purchasing, what you're buying. I see your question there, Wendy. How much? I'll pause and answer your question real quick. There is on our website, which is www.virtualtas.com. There is a link at the top of the page that says instant price quote. If you'll fill that out real quick, it just asks a couple of questions. When you hit submit, it'll immediately send you a link that you can click on in your email, and it has complete pricing information. So if it's not on our pricing page, we don't charge for it, right? Everything's there. We have no hidden fees, no hidden charges. Everything's upfront and above board in terms of pricing. oftentimes that will, that email that is sent by our automated system with the pricing link in it will go into people's spam folders. So make sure that you check your spam folder after you've requested that link. Also, if you don't get it after a while, you can't find it in your spam folder, maybe try again. It's, if you maybe made a typo in your email address or something, sometimes, you know, obviously it'll get sent to the wrong address if that's what you punched in. So try again, check your spam folder. That will get you complete pricing. Okay, so once you sign up with us, and we don't do those demos, by the way, we don't do full screen share demos because, again, they take 30 minutes to an hour depending on how many questions you have. We don't do those demos unless you're pretty much ready to go. We do expect to take payment and sign you up at the end of those demos just because of the length of time that it takes for us to do those demos. So at the end of the demo, once you sign up, within 24 hours, usually the same day or that evening, you're going to get 3 or 4 emails that's just going to have forms and things for you to fill out. There's no actual papers that you have to print out and sign. Everything's done with electronic signatures and so forth. Once you get that information back to us, we kind of start the clock ticking. There's a 10 business day turnaround on getting you set up. So there's tons of stuff for us to do to get you set up as a new customer. There's some questions you're going to have to answer and some things you'll have to work with us here and there on during the setup process in terms of how you want your answering service set up on our system. In the meantime, while we're setting up your system and that 10 days is kind of ticking, we order your phones and your headsets. If you order cordless phones, we now include an extra set of 2 extra sets of batteries for those phones, just in case you need them for any reason or you want to switch them out at some point. You won't have to purchase those on your own. So we've got a link to the Virtual TAS website in the comments right now. Thank you, Dave. And my associate Dave Neighbors is popping up some quotes there for you. Then we've got a link directly to the price quote there as well. So go ahead and click on those if you want to go directly to those pages after we're done with the session here. The session is recorded, by the way, so you should be able to pull it up on our Facebook page, no problem. And just kind of finishing up here, when you receive your phones, we'll schedule a setup call to set up, configure, and test your phones out, make sure the calls are working okay, everything's working. And then finally, in closing, we schedule a training call, and that lasts anywhere from an hour and a half to an hour and a half. And we train you and any of your operators that want to attend that training, and there's no charge for that at all. That's all included. We don't just sign you up and send you a manual and say have fun. We provide you the training, and once you get set up and you get started, we're here with you every step of the way. That's where our help desk is for, to kind of give you any help with anything you need along the way. About a week to 2 weeks after you get started, we also, that's okay, Pebbles, that's no problem. This is recorded. We're kind of at the tail end of this. Pebbles made a comment that she came in a little late to this, but go ahead and hang out to the end, and then once we're done, you'll be able to start it over from the beginning. It is recorded, and then feel free to make comments. We will get those comments if you make comments on the video, even after the live session's over. So that's it. Finally, I'd say 1 to 2 weeks after you start working and using the system actively, we used to charge for this. We used to charge for additional training, but we actually offer you an additional 30-minute training session with you and your operators to just do kind of a follow-up question and answer. You know, if we need to show you how to do something that you're curious about or maybe got a little confused about, we do provide that additional 30 minutes of follow-up training for you. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to contact us you can call us. Contact information is on our website, virtualtas.com. Click contact, many ways to contact us, web chat, phone, fill out the form there, fill out the instant price quote if you want to get pricing and you haven't done that yet. And a sales rep will be happy to contact you and kind of get the ball rolling, answer any of your questions, and that's it. And then we'll go from there. So thank you very much for attending our Facebook Live session. We're going to try to do these once a week. I don't want to commit to that at this point because schedules change and things get busy. But we're hoping to do these sessions once a week. So contact us, send us a contact form if you have suggestions on things you'd like us to cover or go over in these sessions, and we'll be happy to. Have a great week. Once again, thanks for attending, and we'll talk to you later.